Hello and welcome to Football Total Fantasy Football Show Game Week 3 preview. And Jayant is back. What's up, Jayant?
Hi guys, hope everyone had a good few opening game weeks. Yeah, good to be
No,
back.
no, Jayant. I didn't have opening good few game weeks because I had Deli Ali in my team and I had Paul Pogba in my team. So, do you have any other questions to ask me?
Why?
All right. Forget me and my problems. How was your game week 2?
My game week two was good. I got about close to 80 points. Had Son, had Martinez. So yeah,
Who?
um,
Aston Villas Martinez.
yes,
Wow, he saved a penalty, no? I didn't watch the game, but
yeah, saved a penalty, kept a clean sheet. Yeah, so I had a good few game weeks so far.
all right. Okay, as usual, the agenda for today is the review of game week 2. What are the key questions for short term? We preview the game week 3 and we see who are our topics and captaincy choices. And we are on the clock, so 30 minutes. So let's breeze through this. First one, why Son and Calvert Lewin? Did any of this production model guess that Dominic Calvert Lewin is going to score a hat trick or Son is going to score 4 goals?
Um, it's tough to say with Tottenham right now. They have a lot of fixtures, fixture pileup that might happen. Yes, their Carabao Cup against Leyton Orient has got cancelled, but they still have a Europa League fixture, I think, this game week.
Hmm.
Um, Son and Kane are the only two FPL assets to go near for Spurs, but I think through this podcast we'll figure out why Kane is not the best asset. There are better assets in for strikers right now, and I mean Son had a crazy game week. I think he had like 5 shots on target and 4 goals or something like that.
Dude, Kane had 4 assists and a goal. So when you say
Same.
through this podcast we are going to talk about why Kane is not a good asset, it's hard to believe that given
Yeah,
that he's
but
done.
if you look at it before that, like I mean, he does play for a Jose Mourinho team, and his teams are not known to score a lot of goals. They have a lot of fixtures, so there is going to be a fixture pileup. He is the only striker. He's going to get fatigued. Um, I just don't see it happening. Like even against Everton, they were very poor in their first game week. They were very poor. Southampton could have Southampton should have got something from the game actually. Yes, Tottenham scored 5, but Southampton had lots and lots and lots of chances to score. They just had a very very poor defensive shape. Tottenham. Sorry, Southampton.
Yeah, but okay, so here's the thing. What's Kane's value in FPL?
He's 10.5.
And so will Kane, here's my question then. Will Kane give more points or will Aubameyang give more points? If by the end of the season we talk, who would have given more points, Kane or Aubameyang?
Aubameyang.
Dude, that is so biased. That is just your Arsenal love talking. There's no way you can say
See,
Aubameyang.
I'll tell you what. Right now, I'm not sold on Kane. Um, I wouldn't have either in my team right now. Kane because of the fixture pileup, and
Hmm.
Aubameyang just because his fixtures don't look good at the moment. They play United, City, and Liverpool in 3 out of the next 5 game weeks, I think.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm thinking short term right now. I'm not
Yeah.
Son I have in my team right now, so I'm going to keep him. I almost removed Son because I was looking at James Rodriguez and other players, but I'm obviously going to keep Son right now. Calvert Lewin, I think in uh, that Everton team suddenly look really good. So definitely have either one or two Everton assets.
So that was one of the questions I had. So, I mean, it is clubbed with what about Mope, Zaha, and James Rodriguez. So, let's talk about James. And we also have the name Calvert Lewin here. So, out of James and Calvert Lewin, you're saying keep one of them in your team because they will do decently and give you decent returns.
And because of the price, Calvert Lewin at 7, I think is going up. Is almost 7.5 now. James Rodriguez at 7.5. They are very very well priced. James Rodriguez at 7.5, I think he's a great option to have at the moment.
Hmm.
Um, Seven, he's going to be the playmaker. We don't know who's going to take Everton's penalties, but he might take their penalties as well because Sigurdsson does not make it to the playing 11 anymore.
Yeah.
Takes corners from one of the sides as well. It's James and Digne who take the corners.
Hmm.
Um, I think James is a great option to have.
All right.
And then I mean if you want both, go for both. Also keep Calvert-Lewin as well, and even Digne he's on set pieces. Everton are like decent defensively as well. So Everton, I think they'll do very well this season.
All right. Let's come back to the second question. This is Thiago Alcantara a good FPL asset? I mean, I'm sure even you've gotten the same stats as I did that he's done like 3 million passes in 45 minutes. And like he's like the greatest passer the world of football has ever seen, and no one's ever done whatever he's done. My only question is he good for FPL or bad for FPL?
Yeah, so I mean, we see a lot of these players who obviously make a lot of passes, who do a lot in the middle of the pitch, um,
Like Jorginho.
like Jorginho, exactly like Jorginho, like maybe even a Pogba or someone. But I don't know. Are they good FPL assets? I'm not so sure because they generally make a lot of the passes. Like it's called the second assist. So the assist to the goal.
Yeah.
Um, and you don't get any FPL points for that. Um, a lot of Liverpool's and he's going to play in the Liverpool play a 4-3-3, and
Hmm.
he's going to play in the middle three for Liverpool.
Hmm.
Even if you look at last season, like the middle three didn't get a lot of
Points.
value, like the Hendo, Fabinho, and Wijnaldum. They
Hmm.
don't get. I mean, they obviously are great for Liverpool in what they do, but they don't. They don't get a lot of uh, like returns, FPL returns.
Okay. So he's not really very good for FPL, Thiago, right?
Not, yeah, don't think so.
So I don't really care for his million passes, then whatever. So, okay. Did you watch City and Wolves game last night?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
are recording this on a Tuesday night. So, my question was City played really well in the first half, but second half, Wolves could have easily gotten a
Mm,
lot more from that game than they did. It was
mm,
more due to their poor finishing than City being any good.
mhm.
So, should we even consider any of City's defenders at this point, or just say, you know what, leave it, not worth it?
Um, I think at the moment, again, wait and watch because what we've noticed is that the teams that did not play in the first game week, like they
Hmm.
were very sluggish in the second game week. Those are like United and Burnley and City. Yes, City were great first half, but I think fatigue again caught up with them a bit in the second half. Like
Hmm.
they weren't as proactive in the second half as they were in the first half. So I mean, obviously, keep their attacking assets. I think we might talk about that a little later, but um, I think defensively, Stones is not going to play a lot. Stones is only like filling in because Laporte, I think, uh, is
Is
still
it
coronavirus. But Ake, I think Ake would be a good bet into the FPL defense. Not now, again, maybe later.
all right? The similar question is, I think before we started recording, you said that this game week has been like most number of goals scored in any game week in Premier League history or something, right? So let's assume that you are like even 60% correct, and instead of the most, it's second or third. But
Mm.
they have been scoring a lot of goals. Even in game week one, they were like insane amount of goals. It just so happens that all those who score goals are never in my FPL team, but there were a lot of goals. So, does that mean FPL wise that we really shouldn't even be bothered spending more than bare minimum for defenders and just fill your team with talented midfielders and strikers?
I think that is the way to go at the moment, more so because there are a lot of defenders who are like 5 million and below who are doing really well. If you look at Lamptey and kept a clean sheet, I don't think he played 60 minutes, but he had a great game. There is obviously James Dustin from Leicester who's got a goal, a clean sheet, and an assist. I think he's just about 4.5 million.
Hmm.
Uh, there is Roman Saiz from Wolves, who's 5 million. Um, there is Mitchell, I think his name is Tyreek Mitchell from Crystal Palace. One clean sheet, one assist. He's 4 million. Uh, there are great options. So I don't think you need to splash the cash on defenders right now. Blow it up on midfielders and attackers. I think
What
at the
about what about basically when anyone talks about splashing the cash, it's basically talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk, and Andy Robertson, right? These are three people only they talk about. So should we splash the cash on any of them and or just save the money? It's of better use in the midfield and in forwards.
So I have Trent, and I'm gonna probably keep Trent throughout the season. Uh,
Okay.
just because he gets assists, he gets goals, so he's got um attacking and defensive returns. He could get. Allison looks again great this season. He saved a penalty and he made another great save
Hmm.
in against Chelsea. Um, a lot of people what they were doing last year was they were doubling up on Liverpool defense. Wouldn't necessarily do that this season, because what you've seen with Liverpool this season is that they're playing a very high defensive line,
Hmm.
uh, a little like what Bayern Munich do, but Bayern Munich can cope with it because they have like probably the fastest defender in the world with Alphonso Davies. But Liverpool, like, defenders aren't that quick, so sometimes they will get caught out with like a ball over the top or something like that. So uh, you probably will get attacking returns from Liverpool defenders, but don't double up. Maybe just to a single at this point of time.
All right. And I know you don't have Timo Werner in your team, but a lot of them do. And at what point? I am one of them. So at what point should I say, you know what? Timo, as good a striker he may be, probably at FPL, let me ignore him right now. So what is that point? Like, what should I be looking at? I've already used him for 2 game weeks.
Hmm. So again, I think give him time. It's obviously difficult coming from a different league. He's not, I guess, the most physical player. He's obviously got tremendous pace. He was called, I think, Turbo Timo or something. That was his nickname. Um, and he was unlucky not to get an assist. He did win the penalty against Liverpool. And he's got West Brom this weekend. So obviously, definitely keep him,
Yes.
probably captain him also, because I mean, we'll get to that later, but he's a very good captaincy choice this weekend.
All right. So
If
let's
he
see.
fails against West Brom, then probably seriously start thinking.
Cool. The questions for the short term. When does one wild card, Jayant? I've always struggled with this. Like, what is the right time to wild card anyone? A lot of times people started doing it after game week 1. I don't think people are doing it. They're waiting for the transfer window to kind of shut. But my team sucks so bad. So should I wait for the transfer window to shut or should I just go for it and wild card right now?
I think it's important to wait for the wild card for the wild card, and well as for the transfer window to shut, because I would honestly give it a few weeks after the wild card. Sorry, a few weeks after the transfer window, because that's when you sort of get to know the team's shape and stuff like that. Because new signings won't automatically go into the team. We've seen that with Van de Beek, who came off the bench. Bale has come in injured. Reguilon has just come into Tottenham. So a lot of the transfers will take time to bed in. Um, what I will say is this season, more than any season, wait till Friday or sometimes even Saturday to make your transfers. Because why I'm saying this is because of coronavirus, a lot of people will get tested and will get their results very late, and we will get to know about coronavirus results very close to game week deadlines. So this week we found out Gundogan and Mahrez had also tested positive. So wait for that sort of information to come out. Uh, Very important to look at results from the Carabao Cup also. Um, Spurs, I kind of figured they would have a bad result this weekend because they lost to Brentford midweek. So just morale was low. Look at those kind of things. Look at results from midweek fixtures. Look at who's starting. Look at who's done well. Look at who scored a goal, because people will carry over the form from midweek fixtures into the weekend fixtures as well.
Okay, and since we're talking about form, Manchester United are in. Can you hear me?
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
No, I think your speaker has
Now?
fallen off. Headphone.
Dude, what headphone? I'm wearing. Can you hear me now?
Better, but not much better.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Nothing, man. Now? Now?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Yeah. So you were talking about form and people who do well and bad. Manchester United, they did really bad against Crystal Palace. And I saw the game. Few things from the game is Pogba doesn't look anything like the Pogba I remember. Right? He just looked so out of place. He looked sad in that shirt. He just didn't look like he had to play there. Rashford looks like he's injured. I don't know. He's just powering through a few things. And Bruno Fernandes, yeah, he dives around a lot, tries to get a penalty, which could be good for FPL. I mean, but what does one do with Manchester United players? The person who scored a goal comes in at 70th minute.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, they as you said, they look really, really bad. Manchester United. Um, I was planning to get in Bruno Fernandes this week, but obviously I'm not going to do that. They just look very, very lethargic and fatigued, and um, yeah, I think wait and watch with them. I mean, the thing with United is that like Chelsea, they look very bad at the back. So the way they're going to win matches is by outscoring the opponent. I mean, obviously that's how you win matches, but they will. I mean, they are likely to score like 3+ goals in a lot of matches. So once they start clicking, I think it's important to get in your United players then, because again, Martial at 9 million, he's very attractively priced as a forward.
At 9 million. No,
Yeah.
last year he was at 8 something, and that's when he was attractively priced. 9 is a lot, right? Which
No,
brings
no,
us
9 for a forward. I mean, I think he might outscore like a Jamie Vardy or someone. So Jamie
really.
Vardy 10 and a
Every
half,
year we talk about people outscoring Jimmy Vardy, but that old fox always gets it done. And I think Jamie
plus
Vardy is 9.5 million, if I'm not wrong.
10 and a half.
10.5. Man, Gareth Bale is at 9.5.
Mm.
All right. So, who is a budget striker then? If everyone is worth 9 million, 10.5
Yeah.
million, who are the Sasta walas?
So I'll tell you, there are a lot of people who are 6.5, 7. So Mitrovic at 6 million scored two. There is, I think Daniel Podence
But
also. I mean,
the
obviously.
question about Mitrovic is, will Fulham allow him to score any more goals? It's not about him, it's about Fulham.
Fulham look half decent, yeah. I mean, I think they still go down, but Mitrovic is on penalties again. There will be so many penalties awarded this season because of the joke of that VAR, of the handball rule that is there now.
Hmm.
Um, Mitrovic, yeah. So there's Mitrovic at 6 million. There is Daniel Podence, who I think is like 5.5 or something like that. Because of Jota going,
Hmm.
uh, uh, Podence will play a lot of games now. And Podence, I think he has 2 assists in 2 games. Looks a very good and competent player. There is Chris Wood. Um,
Burnley.
yeah, scored a good goal, hit the post. Um, there is few others. Enketia, I don't know how many minutes he's going to get, but again, Enketia at 6 million. There is Mopai,
To
who scored two.
Nketiah, I don't think he'll get many minutes here. There's already Lacazette
Okay,
and Aubameyang. So,
forget Enketia, but then there's Neil Mopai. There is,
Brighton.
yeah,
And they're
Brighton.
playing United. And if Lindelof is playing, he'll be like 4 goals and 4 assists to himself.
Oh, yeah, can't believe that duo Maguire and Lindelof cost 120 million. Can you?
Really? Oh yeah. I mean, anything is Maguire plus anything is more than 100 million. So whatever. All right. Wolves players. When I say Wolves and ex-Wolves, I
Hmm.
think Wolves will still do well this season. This is my
Hmm.
hypothesis, but I don't think they will be like, in terms of FPL, Wolves always had assured returns of Doherty and
Hmm.
Raul Jimenez. Like, there were three players of Wolves who used to give good returns for FPL. Everyone had them. Who are the Wolves players now, and what to make of ex-Wolves players? So Jota is like gone for FPL, right? There's no point even picking him for FPL. We have
No.
Doherty, who I think will give good returns, and now with Regulon and Doherty in that Spurs fullback,
Hmm.
it's just going to be crazy. I don't know what's going to come of this season for Spurs. We'll come to that next. But what do we make of Wolves players? Podence and who else?
Podence talked about. So Wolves backline will have at least one Wolves defender, if not two.
Hmm.
Um, Saiz is a good way into the Wolves defense. He scored and I think hit the post in the first game week, plus got a clean sheet. He's 5 million. Just keep a watch on Vinagre because I know he didn't play the first game, but then the left back who they signed, Fernando Masal or something was his name.
Yeah.
He got taken off in the 8th minute yesterday, and then
No.
Vinagre played the rest of the match. He is 4.4 million now, I think. So at left back, we all know the way Wolves plays is that again their wing backs just bomb on. Wolves also bought Semedo. I don't know how well he's going to do in the Premier League, but he will probably be the right back now. Jimenez, great. Like he just looks so good again this season. 2 goals in 2 matches. And obviously Traore, I'm not sure how he's priced, but I mean there is still value in having Traore. But I would say if there are two Wolves players, I would say Jimenez and Saiz.
All right. And now let's talk about the elephant in the room, Tottenham Hotspur. And they're the elephant because they have a great squad now in terms of FPL returns at least. Like on any day, which we saw over the weekend, Kane was 4 assists and a goal, like, and Son was 4 goals. And as I was just telling you, now they have Regulon and Matt Doherty behind. So you
Hmm.
have, and once Bale comes in, so imagine this: Bale, Son, Kane, Regulon, Matt Doherty, and Ndombele. It's going to be a crazy team. I don't know how they're going to do.
Yeah, but remember who the manager is.
Dude, I don't think it's the same thing. It doesn't, like, I think there is something a little different about them. And in terms of FPL, I know we always look at Son as the more for our FPL choices than Harry Kane. But would it be wise to probably just persist with Doherty because he will probably give you the same returns he used to give at Wolves?
So what I will say with Doherty is that he will obviously be playing in a different formation and a different system now. Wolves played with wingbacks,
Yeah.
so given license to bomb on, like you had a three. They usually played with the 3-5-2, and he was obviously the right wing back, and he was sometimes even in a more advanced position than Adama Traore for Wolves.
Hmm.
But he's playing in a system where he's playing in a back four. He is still obviously bombing forward a lot, but he doesn't have that license to go as far ahead as he would have with Wolves because uh, he doesn't have three central defenders covering for him, so he does have to track back a lot. Um, yeah, I think again, it's a wait and watch with Doherty. Um, Tottenham do not look good defensively, so I'm not sure about the clean sheets. Their returns, again, yes, the returns, if he has any, will come from his attacking intent.
Okay, so basically Tottenham is still Son mainly or Harry
Son
Kane.
and Kane, yeah.
That's it. All right.
Mm.
Now let's look at the games we have for this. So it starts off with Brighton versus United. So are we both expecting a Neil Mope hat trick?
I think there will be goals. I think there will definitely be goals. Uh, um, yeah, it's another difficult fixture for United. I don't think their history against Brighton is not great.
Really? What is their history against Brighton? I don't know. Like, do you
I'm
have
not sure.
any
I just read
offhand
somewhere.
information?
I was reading somewhere that Brighton have caused United trouble in the past.
Dude, every team has caused United in trouble in the past. Okay, whatever. Crystal Palace, Everton. This is interesting. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, uh, James Rodriguez, and Wilfred
Zaha.
Zaha.
Yeah.
So,
And
who
interestingly, whoever wins that match will go top of the table.
correct? So, who among these three, if I say pick one guy to be in the team, who would you do that? Who would you pick?
James.
Really? Not
Mm.
even Dominic.
James just offers you so much right now.
Okay. West Brom, Chelsea. We already spoke about it. Have Timo Werner, right?
Mm.
There's
Mm.
I don't know. There's no one else in that both the teams who is worthy of an FPL consideration. Probably you could look at a Chelsea defender, but then that depends on if you already have a Chelsea defender, because they may get a clean sheet on this. But yeah,
Would also say keep a lookout on the some of the West Brom midfielders. They have got some quality. There is Rodriguez and there's Diangana, I think is his name. So just if you're looking for a budget midfielder, think just keep an eye out on both of them.
all right. Burnley versus Southampton. Danny Ings. Do you back Danny Ings to score a goal?
Yeah, I do because Burnley just they don't have Ben Mee, they don't have Tarkowski. Uh, their back four is like some academy players right now. So I expect Southampton to score.
Right. Sheffield versus Leeds. So there are two questions. We know Sheffield's defense has gone to dogs after Dean Henderson has left them. So I wouldn't recommend any Sheffield defenders. But the question is this: will Leeds also concede 3 goals in this game again?
I don't think so. Leeds first two fixtures have ended 4-3. I'm pretty sure this will not end 4-3.
All right. Tottenham are playing Newcastle. We already spoke about Son and Kane. But one guy I want to talk about is that striker of Newcastle. You think it's a good shout to have him in the team, given that Spurs
Yeah,
defense is what's his name? Charlie
another
Wilson.
one to go into that budget striker bracket.
All right, Man City, Leicester.
Yeah, I think great game. Leicester have started really well. It's another difficult fixture for City, but City, another person who one must consider is Phil Foden at 6.5.
Hmm.
Um, I just think his price is going to rise. He's playing in the midfield, but he's playing almost in that David Silva role. So he's pushing up a lot. He's on. I mean, you'll see him taking a lot of shots, almost like scoring a lot of goals. The only problem is with Ferran Torres coming in, we don't know how many minutes he's going to get.
Yeah, but now with Riyad Mahrez having COVID, so Phil Foden will get more chances, right? At least for the first 3, 4, 5 game weeks.
Yeah, true, true.
All right, West Ham versus Wolves. I think this is going to be like I don't know. I mean, I say everything is going to be a great game, but having said that, West Ham played actually decently against Arsenal for large parts of the game.
Mm.
So I don't know what to make of this. Should we just load up on Wolves or say like you know what you don't know how West Ham is? So
Yeah, West Ham are a like mixed bag, I think. Um, I don't think West Ham will get anything from the game. I think Wolves. Yeah.
no. All right, Fulham Aston Villa.
Mitro-
Mitrovic.
I don't know. Again, it's tough to call. Fulham have a very leaky defense.
So
Uh,
here's a question before we come to the Liverpool Arsenal. In FPL wise, which is the most dependable team?
hmm. I mean, FPL wise, you would say like, I mean, the nailed on person for the entire season is probably like a Kevin De Bruyne or someone.
No, I
Uh,
said which team? Like if I want to keep 2 players from a team or 3 players. Is
Liverpool, I
Liverpool the
think.
only team where you can do that?
Think so. Yeah.
Okay, they're playing Arsenal. You think they're going to get anything from this game?
Yeah.
You're an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, but I know Arteta's like whatever beaten Liverpool twice and like whatever. But I mean, one was a Carling Cup, not in Carling Cup, Community Shield game which they won on penalty, so that doesn't count.
Hmm.
Liverpool is at Anfield, so I know the crowd and all makes a difference. I think the I mean, I'll be extremely happy if Arsenal get even a draw from the game.
All right. Who are the valued buys for game week 3, Jayant?
Hmm. I would say value buys. I'm actually thinking of this. So I think size. I think 5 million for a defender, and then like I saw both fixtures, they're great. So get him and then just keep him. Uh, and then looking at defenders only, like I mean, maybe not. Okay, this is specifically for game week 3, but uh, let me think of some others. Callum Wilson, maybe. I think he might score against Tottenham.
But he's the only guy. So if Newcastle have to score goals, it could be only through Callum Wilson, right?
Yeah.
And which are the assets must have for game week 3? Like, so let me just come back to the fixtures. You're looking at these are the fixtures. So looking at this, who are the players a person should definitely have in their team for this game week?
So I'm gonna say Salah, and why I'm saying Salah is for multiple reasons. Salah, number one is he has a great record in Anfield. He scores like I think like from 90% of his goals at Anfield.
Hmm.
Uh, Um, the second reason before that is he has a good record against Arsenal. I remember I think he scored two in this fixture last season, and I think two again in the same fixture the season before that. And the thing is that if a lot of people, I don't know if they're going to captain Salah. I think I might captain Salah, but uh, just if you don't have Salah right now, and a lot of people captain him or have him, the the amount of ground you will lose early on in the season is a lot that you'll have to make up. I
Hmm.
mean, if you already saw it in the first game week, when Salah scored a hat trick, some people captained him. That's 40 points, um, like there and then. I know Arsenal have shot up their defense and all of that, but I still think he could score like two against Arsenal.
All right. Captaincy choices for game week 3. Who are your three picks for captains
Uh, I've already spoken about Salah, but I think the most obvious choice is Werner.
against
Even
West Brom?
yeah, because they're playing against West Brom.
Hmm.
West Brom defense looks really bad at the moment, and I think people might go for for a Tottenham guy, Kane, Son, Ings.
Yeah, I can't think of. Those two actually look, and I think Danny Ings, right? Danny Ings may
Yeah,
seem like a good choice. You
yeah,
think you think Marshall is going to do something, or it's just too much of a risk?
yeah. I think it's a big risk. If I would say three captaincy choices, I'd probably not even go Salah. I'd probably go Werner. Um,
Son,
Again, I want to see what happens in the Europa League fixture. I mean,
dude, they're going to Macedonia and they're going to win. I'm telling you right now.
they're going to win, but again, like, will someone pick up an injury? How many minutes will these guy play?
So look, that is fine. So assume Som is not injured. He is definitely going to start no against Newcastle.
Yeah, then I mean, Son and maybe like I think Ings. Yeah,
Cool. All right, Jayant. And what's your rank in worldwide, globally, whatever it is right now? Are you like in the zone where you're already feeling bad about playing this FPL?
no, not at all. I'm about. I think there are 6 million people playing. I think I'm in the top like 10% or something right now.
What are you saying? So 1 million people dropped out from last year. They couldn't take this bullshit anymore. Is that
They
what you're
will. They
saying?
will. No, no. Like I think people will start. I mean, there are people who join late and stuff like that. So
Really? Why?
I don't know. I know like one of my friends didn't make the deadline, so she's just joined a few. She's just joining this game week. So there will be some people like that.
All right. Okay, Jayant. Good to talk to you after a long time. And
Yep.
hopefully see you game week 4, 5, 6, one of these game weeks where I would have done really well and I'll be above you in ranking.
Please remove Delhi Ali.
Dude, yes, for sure he's gone. Oh God, what a disappointment that is. कितने अरमान रखे थे मैंने.
Do
All right.
not trust Jose.
No, do not trust Delhi. You can trust Jose. Delhi, you can't trust at all. All right, man.
Uh,
Anyway, take care. Bye bye.
See you.
And
Take
all of
care.
you, best of luck for game week 3.
Yeah. All the best.
Okay, Ruko.